So, on this episode of the Playbook, me and my boy Joe are going to go over the Ravens offense, how good Lamar Jackson was. Then we'll talk about the Jets overall and how awful they were. We're going to review our week one picks. We're going to go over our week two picks. We're also going to talk about our best and worst picks from week one. We're going to talk about 3 games from this week. Joe's going to do his parlay. And we're going to talk about how great Justin Herbert is, how Notre Dame didn't play, and a little bit of fantasy and how I drafted the best team on the planet. So enjoy. Yo, 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 what's great, football fans? I'm Rob Planner. I'm with Joe Hackett. This is the Playbook. How you feeling, Joe?
I'm feeling great. What about yourself?
Feeling pretty good. It's the third show overall.
Yeah.
We're gonna be
God
working.
bless.
It was a rough week one. Joe. I think fantasy wise, it was rough. Our favorite team.
I had a
it
great
was rough.
fantasy week.
Yeah. Well, okay. Did you, Joe? No, you didn't.
I lost in our league that we have, but I won in my other two.
Oh, okay. So that's not bad. But yeah, I took a nice 130. Nah, I scored 125 point PPR loss in our friend league. But we'll get better. We'll get better next week.
I had Sammy Watkins sitting on the bench.
Yeah, and I had Tariq started Montgomery over Tariq Cohen. We'll talk about fantasy a little later. Because we definitely got some changes going on for that.
Oh yeah.
But first, Joe, let's get into it. The point of this show, the point of the Playbook under the Sports Opinions Podcast umbrella, we're going to bring you football. We're going to talk about it. We're talking about it in detail. So here we go. Our big three. First thing we're talking about this week is the best offensive scheme that we saw this week. And so I'm going to start off with the Ravens. We're talking about the Ravens offense. And, yeah, I know they played the Dolphins. There's, guys asking to be traded off the Dolphins now. People don't want to be there. I mean, you see – it was funny scrolling on Instagram because scrolling. And, Lamar's blowing up. Everybody's, oh, he's a real quarterback. He's doing everything the right way, whatever. And then it's just you see all the stuff about the Dolphins, how awful they are. And you're like, there's two sides to every story. So I think the biggest thing that I saw with them is, they're doing what you would expect. In order for Lamar to be a productive quarterback in the league, they're going to have to be a very heavy spread RPO, kind of almost taking what he was able to do in college and just translating it to the league as best they can. And he was perfect. He had a perfect passer rating. So he literally is doing everything that, you would expect him to do. This is when people said Lamar Jackson's a quarterback, this is, this is his position. This is what we expect him to do. Him to come in, run an RPO, perfect reads. There was one play, the one play that passed to Hollywood Brown, Marquise Brown. He ran the RPO, read the linebacker perfectly and threw a perfect ball in. He got, I'm pretty sure, no, that was a touchdown play, actually. He took it to the crib. It was
he
like
had
an
two
inside
touchdowns,
slant.
Hollywood.
Yep. And, he only had 12 snaps, so that's another, I would take it, fantasy-wise. I wouldn't go crazy over him. But he did, he had a good game. And Lamar honestly looked, it's just it's crazy how effortless he throws deep balls. It's ridiculous. It looks like he's just flicking the ball, and it's just, going 40, 50 yards. He had the deep ball to Hollywood Brown. He looked good. They kept him. There was times where there was, there was 5 receivers. No, he was empty backfield. And he got the ball out. He was looking. He had his first or second read was open. He was able to progress through them quickly. Granted, bad Miami team, but Lamar looked special. He looked special, Joe. What did you think?
I'm gonna refrain from calling him special. That he looked special because I think the Ravens really helped him out. Like you said, the receivers, his first 2 reads were usually always open. And the thing that you didn't touch on is the amount of time he had. I think you could put Mark Sanchez back there and he does the same thing. I'm not saying they played a bad team. Okay. Lamar, I'm not saying Lamar's a bad quarterback. I hope he does well. Kind of for the Jets' sake at a wild card, but I can't go gung-ho on Lamar Jackson right now until we see more against actual NFL caliber teams. I'm not a fan of Miami. That pass rush was awful. He had all day to throw. Not sold on him yet.
So the only thing that I'm going to say about that, Joe, is that, yeah, they did play the Dolphins, and you don't want it to be an overreaction from Ravens fans because, they're going
I'm
crazy.
already getting them, Ryan. Ryan Greenhouse.
Our friend Ryan, they're happy right now. And honestly, you know what though? Joe, he had a lot of time, but most of these plays are plays where he's getting the ball out. It's an RPO and he's faking a handoff and you're throwing. Yeah. And there's times where it's an awful RPO fake, and you have to honor the fact that this guy can literally run a high 4.3. And you got to honor it, and teams don't know what to do. There's no pass rush, Joe, because when there's a play fake, the linemen have to stay true. They can't just rush in, or Lamar's going to take off and he's gone. And then that's what turns it. Granted, the secondary is the problem too, because when you're just letting guys get open, on slants and routes that should be easy to cover out of an RPO, that's troublesome too. But you got to if you're keeping defenses honest, you can't forget this was a playoff team last year, Joe. This Ravens team is not a bet. Yes, they lost some pieces, but were a playoff team, and he was a playoff quarterback.
Wrong.
Yeah. We'll see.
The reason I'm going to disagree with you is because the RPO, it gets people to honor the run first. Because if you're a linebacker, your first responsibility is the run. And with an RPO, I was going to talk about this later with the Eagles because they're my go-to off. They're my top offense of the week so far. But the thing about an RPO is that nothing changes. It's a designed run play with the option to throw. So linemen, you're taught as a linebacker, the first thing you look at when a play starts is you look at the offensive line. They're going to take you to the play. When they fire out, it's a run. You could run commit. When the RPO completely changes that. They are firing out, and as long as the quarterback gets the ball out before they are 1 yard down the field, they could still throw the ball. And by then, your first step's downhill and you can't cover, and a quick slant, a little bubble screen that could go 7 yards a pop. And Hollywood Brown, you saw it on that one long touchdown. He took a slant, I think it was, or was it an in? And he just took it 75 yards for a touchdown because the linebacker's committed. But at the same time, it's also the Dolphins, so they don't have the talent to really respond to that.
We'll see. I think it's gonna be very successful for them. I think they easily, with the way that the Steelers and the Browns looked in Week 1, I think they easily win the AFC North. So, but I don't want to get. We'll see. We'll see this week. It is. You don't want to take victory. You don't want to take victory laps Week 1. I realize that, but I think if Lamar Jackson can be as efficient as he was, and if he's if he completes half the amount of passes that he completed against anyone else, they are a very scary team. Also, because that defense, Dolphins, but Matt Judon, there was one play where he came and the Ravens are a lot better than I think they're going to get credit for this year, and they kind of proved it to me. I mean, the Dolphins are bad, but they're still a professional football team, and they're still good players on the Miami Dolphins. So we'll just leave it at that. We'll agree to disagree on the Ravens. We'll see what happens next week. They are certainly my pick for next week against the Cardinals. Certainly. Oh, yeah. But we're going to go to defense now, and we're going to talk about a team that we hold very close to our hearts, even though we're not supposed to be doing this. But after Week 1, I think it is quite appropriate. Joe, let's talk about these Jets. Let's talk about these New York Football Jets.
Oh, you're going to hurt me. Defensively, I think first half was nearly flawless. What was it, 3 turnovers in the first half? It might have even been all 4 turnovers happened in the first half.
Yeah, it was 4. Yep.
We only got 6 points out of it, and that's embarrassing in itself. But let's break it down. A lot of people are overreacting, okay? We didn't really have 4 turnovers, okay? Muff snap on 4th and 1. A fumble. They were in the red zone. They could have kicked the field goal. Okay? And then we had 2 picks. And
there was the pick off of the
deflection
foot,
that went for 6.
2 deflections.
Yeah, and then the other one that went to Hewitt.
Yeah.
Right. Yep. So let's be honest, we had 2 turnovers that game. Okay, I'm not really gun ho about the fumble. Josh Allen it was third down. They probably would have kicked the field goal anyway, and the other one they fumbled on 4th and 1. So we really had 2 turnovers and have 6 points to show for it, and we missed that extra point. Okay, so it saw a lot of good things on the defense, saw a lot of bad. When C.J. Mosley got hurt in the first in the second half, that was just disgusting. We totally forgot about Devin Singletary in the backfield. Our corners got exposed. That's really all I got to say. I'm upset.
Well, the Jets defensively, yeah, it wasn't. It was a good effort. I'll say it was a solid effort on the defense's part.
It
but the
showed
only
flashes
problem is
of a lot of good things.
I think the biggest thing that I'll take away and have an issue with is we had pressure on Josh Allen in situations where we win no one-on-ones. We don't win one-on-ones, which is the biggest issue.
Yeah.
We still don't have a guy who we can go to and say on third down, if he's one-on-one, it's going to be a win. It's going to be a problem. Like Josh Allen was able to sit back. He was able to step up in the pocket, and the pocket collapsed on him, but he could still keep composure and throw the ball, get the ball out. And he was getting it out to his, second or third read, and it was turning to first downs, So that's something that it's got to be better. We got to finish on the quarterback. Like you said, the secondary, I mean, when your best corner literally cannot cover someone because, across the field when Brown was just chewing through, that's not good. But Mosley was a bright spot. The pick fell into his hands. So that's one thing. But in that 3-4, exactly. He was making a lot of other plays too. He was in the right
NFL,
spot.
It's a lot less gun-ho defenses and a lot more opportunistic defenses. I'd take an opportunistic defense. Well, I'd obviously want one of the best defenses in the league, but if I can't have the best defense in the league that's all gun-ho, could send a million guys and get a sack every time like the Bears, I want an opportunistic bend but don't break defense. Because that'll win a lot of games.
Which for the most part is what we had, but we fell apart because, even the play that Mosley got hurt on, he made an amazing play in the end zone. He probably covered 35 yards, runs up the middle, breaks the pass up on the tight end. So, and he's going to play week 2. So, Jets, I think –
that wasn't on a tight end, bro. That was on John Brown.
Okay. I just assumed because it was
Son,
up in
you know how fast John Brown is?
Yeah, no.
Why was he on him in the first place?
I don't think he was. I think he was help. I think he was like a hook zone.
Yeah, I think so he had cover too.
Yeah, so just so we can understand, just so people understand, Joe. So basically Mosley, he's playing the middle linebacker, and they were on, I believe, like the 30 or 40 yard line going in, and Mosley in a cover 2. Mosley's responsibility really is only. They're really 10 yards off of where he starts. So he'll back up 10 yards into his own. But in this occasion, he kind of matched up with Brown because Brown found a soft spot in the, by where the corners would be in the end zone. And he kind of dropped back and made a play, put his hand between the ball. So, but yeah, just so people understand, it's a great play. He made a great play. He's a great player. And he's going to have to bring it week 2. He's going to have to bring it week 2 against these Browns. And
hope he's healthy.
We'll see. So, Joe, let's go right to the next thing. We're talking about our review of our picks from last week. So, if you want to, I was 9-6-1. That was the result from last week. That was my record. And Joe, you were 9-6-1 from last week. And the way that turned out is I picked the Falcons, Joe picked the Vikings, and I picked the Chargers, and Joe picked the Colts. So we were both wrong and right, swapping back and forth with that. And then the Lions and the Cardinals, we picked different teams there too, but it ended up in a tie. So we are dead even right now.
Yeah, that was stupid.
And yeah,
Lions should be ashamed of themselves.
Well, let's see. Okay, so let's start with that. So we're going to do our best and worst picks as well right here for last week. What teams we picked that was a really good pick and what was a really bad pick. So for me, my best pick, I'm going with the Cardinals because they're underdogs coming into it. I said Kyler was going to be good. He was awful in the first half, really the first 3 quarters, and then fourth quarter Kyler was special. He came all the way back. I believe they scored 17 or 18 unanswered to tie it and took it in overtime. And if it wasn't for a drop pick, they would have won the game. And Joe called me crazy last week when I picked them, and then they tied. So it was a good. I'll take that. I'll take that. The Cardinals aren't going to be great. Kyler's going to be good. They're going to have to build around him, but he's very much an NFL quarterback. And fourth quarter, week 1, Kyler proved that.
My favorite pick was the Vikings-Falcons game that I picked. I just like the matchup. I'm not sold on the Falcons. For some reason, Dan Quinn can't get it together over there. He's going to get fired after this year. You have an all-star offensive lineup, and you can't do anything with it. The Vikings look great. Stephon Diggs, Adam Thielen, a healthy Dalvin Cook, Kirk Cousins not in prime time. I'm going to be betting on the Vikings a lot this year. That defense looked good too.
It was good, Joe, and that was somewhere where you got me because I absolutely thought that there was no way the Vikings. Not that they had a shot,
in your own. No, it's no fault in your own. Matt Ryan, Devontae Freeman, Julio Jones.
Yeah, they got Sanu.
This is an Sanu, Calvin Ridley. This is an all-star lineup, and Dan Quinn can't win with them.
Yeah, but also there's Keanu's back, but it's just not – that defense has holes too. It's not imperfect. I mean, they have pieces where you can name drop guys and it sounds good, but they just can't put it together. Like you said, offensively or defensively. On paper, they look great, but sometimes that doesn't matter. And leading into the worst pick of the week, Joe, points. I think we agree on this one. The Cleveland Browns.
Yeah. We both picked Cleveland. Like I said in that one parlay, it'd be a good thing to bet on if you're feeling risky because Cleveland might not have their shit together. I don't know what's wrong with them. Baker Mayfield, 3 interceptions. Odell Beckham had a couple catches. I think he had 70 yards. It's not like they completely contained him. Titans put up 40 points on him. He's got a 40 burger. Are the Titans just good or are the Browns just bad?
I think what it is that defense is young still, and as good as Ward is, as good as Greedy Williams is going to be, for now, it's going to be rough. It's going to be rough. I mean, everyone on the planet dropped them in fantasy because they were my defense, got me 0 points.
My defense too. I was like, I got to steal.
I was so happy and high on them, and we were drinking the Kool-Aid, and now I wouldn't say our friend Matt, also a fellow sports opinion podcaster, is calling them a dumpster fire. I wouldn't go that far. They're still a solid team. Exactly. It's still a solid team. But 40 with the Titans put up 40 on you, that's not good. But also, week 1, they got to learn to adjust to each other. I believe Baker was concussed towards the end of that game. Like, he took a shot. I don't know if it was just before halftime or in the third quarter, but he took a shot. And it was not the same. It was a competitive game in the first half, and I believe it was 6-13 going into halftime, or 6-12. And obviously the game did not finish that close. But Baker was much different in the first half than he was in the second, and I think something's going on there. They'll figure it out week 2. We'll see. But honestly, they're not a bad team. Let's not go calling Cleveland a bad team. But I also do not believe that the AFC North is going to be, my thought was Steelers Browns. Now I'm thinking more Ravens Browns, but again, it is week 1.
I know it's within the first 6 weeks, but I'm liking the Bengals.
Yeah, the Bengals looked, which is another team. They look good. Which is
Andy
completely
Dalton, 400 plus yards.
Yes,
John Ross, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, which is, I wouldn't bet on that happening often, but it did happen. Not at all. So, but also, they compete. I thought it was going to be, Russ had a good game. He had 2 touchdowns. He had almost 200 yards passing, but it was not the offensive explosion I expected. And that Cincy team that's going to be a close race. The AFC North is going to be something to watch for. So, all right, without further ado, we're going to get into the picks. We're going to run through them quick. And we're going to pick 3 games to talk about. John, I'm going to let you're going to decide whichever ones you want to talk about. We'll talk about them. But let's get right into the picks.
All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off Thursday Night Football. We got Carolina Buccaneers. We're not going to spend any time on this because it's going to be a blowout. The Panthers coming off a rough loss, a close game against the Rams. Can't really see much happen in the Bucs' favor. Sorry, guys. Next game. Sunday games. Cowboys, Redskins, another one, not going to spend too much time. Sorry, I respect the Redskins. They went up 17-0 on the Eagles, but guess what? Wrong. The Cowboys aren't going to let that happen.
Just for the record, I'm going with Joe's. These are picks that I agree. I
Oh,
agree,
yeah,
Joe.
yeah.
I'll intervene if
I was
I have
actually going to go
something I don't
back
agree.
and be like, oh,
Okay,
yeah, what was
okay.
your pick?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I got the Cowboys over the Redskins. Next game, Colts-Titans. I want to talk about this one. This is the one we will talk about
good.
first.
Okay.
What do you
Sounds
think?
Good. Here, Colts. I'm going Colts. I'm gonna go Colts just because.
Same.
Colts. That's gonna be what it is. The Titans. Yeah, good first week showing, but show me more. Show me again. Colts.
I think any question about Andrew Luck, I think he might help a little more, but Jacoby Brissett was lights out. Started off maybe a little slow. That offense started off a little slow, but that he picked right up. I'm going Colts.
Right.
Next game, Seattle Steelers. I'm sorry, Pittsburgh. After a sorry performance like that in your opener on a national stage on Sunday night, you get blown out by the Patriots. So I'm going Seahawks.
Joe, I'm going Steelers on this one. I'm going Steelers on this one. I'm not gonna overreact week one. The Patriots are a really good team.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Steelers get it together in week 2.
Okay. Now we got Bills, Giants. I got Bills. I think that pass rush is going to be way too much for them, for Eli and the Giants. This is one I had to think
Giants.
about a little bit. Really?
I'm going Giants, Joe. I'm going Giants and Saquon. And Saquon, we trust, man. I mean, they put up 17 on Dallas, and I don't see the Bills defense stopping Saquon. I don't.
You see, what made me decide Bills is because you look at the Bills' offense was actually great against us. It's just stupid mistakes in the red zone cost them a bunch of points. So Jets are lucky we didn't get blown out that game. Next game, Pats Dolphins. This is going to be a bloodbath. It might be the first 100-point game in NFL history.
Yeah, that's my analysis of that game too. So I'm going
100-0 Pats.
Yeah, 100. Yeah, Pats are covering 105-point spread on
that. Jags Texans, another I think bloodbath because Jacksonville is just in a bad spot right now with Nick Foles. Breaks his collarbone, was it, on his first touchdown pass as a Jaguar?
Yeah, that's awful.
Not good luck. I love the system there. I think Connor Minshew, the rookie that they have backing him up, is pretty good, but I just don't think that Texan defense looked elite up until the end of last game. So I think they share out any issues they have and blow out the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Also, Deshaun Watson is a freak, and I pray his back is okay because he was really struggling last night. He was in a lot of discomfort.
Touchdown run.
And he just, but I really hope he's good because of back issues, being a football player, like when your lower back starts bothering you, like you can't do anything. And as a quarterback that, a mobile quarterback at that, it's going to affect them. I'm going with the Texans, but prayers up for Deshaun because he's just a freak athlete, man.
Yeah, he gets sacked all the time, so they need to do something about that offense. He got sacked 6 or 7 times yesterday.
Yeah, they were getting after the guy.
Disgusting, but he could also be a great pocket QB too. So hopefully he protects himself a little bit. Next game. This one's tough. I want to hear your take first. Vikings-Packers.
Vikings-Packers. I'm going Vikings. The Packers were not when you can't find a way to get Devontae Adams involved in your offense, I don't care how good Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams can't figure it out. They get 10 points. I mean, the Bears defense, granted, but they got to be better. They got to show me the Vikings, especially after the whole Falcons. The Vikings. I mean, the Vikings. I got the Vikings. I'm taking the Vikings there. Now, I think.
Would it change your mind if I said they were in Lambeau?
Not at all.
Opener.
Not at all.
I find this very hard. I think I need to talk about this. Vikings. I'm going Vikings.
Yeah, it's a tough one. It's not an easy one, but after seeing Aaron Rodgers was flustered. He was flustered, and yes, Bears defense. I get it. The Bears defense is good, but you are Aaron Rodgers, and you have Devontae Adams, and you got to figure it out.
Yeah, and also Mitch Trubisky had a terrible game. There were touchdowns that were left on the board because of his play.
Yep. So this easily could have been a loss for the Packers, and we'll just.
So now I'm feeling a lot better about my pick. I'm going Vikings. Then Chargers Lions. I think Chargers by 17.
Definitely, yeah. They're going to cover
The
this.
Lions
What's the
continue
point?
to fall apart in the second half, and it's just so sad to watch.
That game's it's only 2.5 points. That's crazy.
Yeah. And I remember I
That's
was watching the
ridiculous.
Cardinals-Lions game last week, and I was like, Rob is really going to be talking if the
Yeah.
Cardinals win. I
They
was
actually
praying
won.
for a tie. I was
Well,
legit
Joe,
praying for a tie.
I had a $5. What was it? I had like a $5 like 8-team parlay. I mean, it would have fell apart because of the Broncos and the Steelers, but like at
Mhm.
that point, it was going to win me 300 with the bets I had made. So, I was really hoping they were going to win too. But football.
Football's football. It is what it is. Next game, 49ers Bengals. I got Niners. I think. I don't know. I think Niners.
That's a tough one. That's a tough one, but I'm gonna go Niners too. They looked really good. I guess. I mean, the Bucks. It's the Bucks, but the Niners look good.
Yeah,
I
and they
like the
look solid
Niners.
defensively. Richard Sherman had his first interception as a Niner. Finally, returned it for 6.
Yeah, it's just this is gonna be a really bad week or a really good one. There's not. I don't think there's gonna be a lot of. There's no guarantees with with a lot of these games like there were seemingly last week. But
Yep. Last week against the Lions, the Cardinals had Kyler Murray show out in the second half. I think he slows down against the Ravens, and the Ravens get a victory over the Cards. I think that offense is non-existent this game.
yeah, I don't think it's gonna happen. I think the Lions kind of just fell apart at the end, but that Ravens team's gonna put it on them. They're gonna put it on them. If Matt Stafford can do it, standing there like a statue, then Lamar can.
Yeah, so we both got Ravens, and also the Cardinals are without Patrick Peterson for another 3 weeks. Am I right? Am I correct?
Yep.
The PD issue. All right, and now Chiefs, Raiders. Raiders had a great showing last night, but I still go with the Chiefs. That Chiefs offense, even if Patrick Mahomes is a little shaky because he got hurt, I hope he's going to be okay. I think he's going to be completely fine, but I don't think that offense gets to beat.
Yeah, honestly, I'm almost with fantasy. I have Mahomes and Lamar, and I'm almost thinking, there's no Tyreek Hill. He's hurt, and now Mahomes is shaky. So I'm almost thinking about starting Lamar. Haven't made the decision yet, but I'm going with the Chiefs here too, Joe.
Okay. I'm just trying to look up that point spread. It's a 7.5. Oh, never mind. Oakland is +7, so I would stay away from that.
Yeah.
After that, this is one I want to talk about, Saints Rams. I think the Saints pull it out this time, a revenge game pretty much from the Super Bowl they had taken away from them. And I also think this Rams defense has severely underperformed this past week. And they did last year. If you really want to look into it, they underperformed. And they underperformed last week against the Panthers too.
Yeah, I'm going Saints too, Joe. I think Drew Brees just finds a way to get it done. That team's ridiculous. Michael Thomas last night proved to me that he is worth every penny. And Alvin Kamara is also going to be worth every penny when I'm not sure if he was paid or not. I don't think so yet, but he'll be worth every penny when it comes around. So that offense is ridiculous. Taysom Hill is a god. So there's that.
He's Lord Taysom.
Will Lutz is icing it. He's Sub-Zero. So, I mean, the Saints are good.
Mm-hmm. Now we got Bears Broncos. I think this is going to be – I watched the Broncos play, and I thought they were going to win. Obviously, I picked them. And Joe Flacco looks like he's doing as much as he can, but these receivers can't get open. Emmanuel Sanders didn't have a touchdown till garbage time. I liked Sutton, that the rookie that they have, but you can't just rely your offense on one guy. Noah Fant had a nice catch, but that offense just stalled out. That run game, Philip Lindsay's good, but he needs help on the line.
Yep.
So I got Bears, and I think it's going to be a blowout.
Yeah, I don't know how it's only a 1 point. How the Bears are. The Bears are. The Bears are. They're the underdog in that game by 1. They're +1. I have here that the Bears are +1. I mean,
everybody stop what you're doing and bet the fucking house on the Bears.
Joe,
I'm cursing. No. That deserves a curse. Bet the house on the Bears.
Joe, I might. That's like $100. I don't know how that's possible.
I'm betting the house on the Bears spread.
But I mean, this could just be wrong. But it's
definitely right. There's no way they accidentally put it up. Oh no, take that bet right now.
Yeah,
I'm doing it
but
right now.
yeah, no, and see, even the Bears win, and the Broncos offensively. There's Lindsey, he's cool, he's good. Sanders, he's good. I don't trust Emmanuel Sanders that much. I think
He's
he's
not
a
even the
good
number one if
receiver.
you go off last night. Sutton is
Yeah,
the
and
number one.
Sutton and Joe. Yeah, and that's another thing
But
about
shout out to Emmanuel Sanders for getting me the win, that garbage time touchdown, 2-point win over Richard, or no, not Richard. It's one of Sean's friends, my cousin's friends. I'm in the league, and so dub season for that.
But yeah, no, Bears roll. Hopefully, we get a lot of action out of Tariq Cohen and not David Montgomery, because last week he had 5 points. So, all right, Joe, was that the last one? Or is there one more?
I know we got 2 more. We're not going to spend much time on one of them. Eagles, Falcons. Falcons will continue to be a walking disappointment, so I'm going Eagles. And even though the Eagles start off slow, I think they could start playing in the fourth quarter and still win against this Falcons team. And then we got, what do you got for that game?
Oh, yeah, I got the Eagles. Yeah, I'm taking Philly.
You sure you don't want to bet on the Falcons?
Absolutely not.
Positive?
Absolutely not. Philly.
Deshaun
Jackson's back. He went back 10 years, and he's that's 7 years, and he's filthy and fast, very fast.
Browns, Jets. You could execute me if I'm wrong. I have Browns circled, but I'm going Jets.
Yeah, no, I'm going Jets too. See, the thing is, yes, there is fan bias. Absolutely, there's fan bias here, but I do not care. We are going to figure it out. We're going to get back. They said it. This guy, Jamal, the president, he's made a declaration that it is not the end of the world, and we are going to be back in better week 2. And Le'Veon has said the same thing. I trust those men, and I'm going Jets.
Yeah, I'm just to wrap up. That's going to be the last pick. Just to wrap up all the picks, week 1, okay? All Jets fans thought we were going to the Super Bowl last year against the Lions. Sam Darnold throws a pick 6, and then we blow out the Lions, okay? We're going to the Super Bowl. I remember jumping with Rob in our dorm, screaming we're going to the Super Bowl, okay? Well, this is the exact opposite.
Yeah.
We lost to what I think is going to pan out to be a very good team. But right now, as it stands, we lost to the Buffalo Bills.
Yep.
This is as low as it gets. This is a division rival. It could mean playoff berth. I'm just saying.
Yeah, possibly, Joe.
The Saints help us out.
So, Joe, let's go. Let's do your parlay. See what are you liking?
I don't want to spend your money like I did last time. Before we get going, I'm not responsible for anything you do with your money. You have complete control over anything you do with your money. But I have right now, and I don't know, I may update this. Follow me on Twitter. Carolina spread. They're -1 right now against the Bucs on Thursday night. Or no, they're -7. My bad. Bad handwriting. But I'm still taking Carolina spread -7. Next, it's 3-team parlay. I got the Bills with the spread -2 over the Giants. I think that pass rush is ridiculous, and especially if the Giants feel like putting Daniel Jones in, you will lose. And then I got Indy money line over I forgot who they were playing. Titans. And they're actually an underdog, so that'll get you some money. $10 as of right now. FanDuel is $86.84 payout.
Yep.
But
and
I'm going to update that definitely.
For those games, I think the Panthers is a safe bet. I think it's possible. It's absolutely possible that the Titans beat the Giants. And it is absolutely possible that the Colts cover. Or did you take money line on the Colts?
I took money line on the Colts over the Titans, which is a divisional game, and they're underdogs.
Giants, Bills.
Yeah. Bills. I don't know. You got to take a little risk, but I'd wait on that one because that spread might change.
Well, I mean, if that's not a bad $10, and if you can win 80, that's not.
Yeah, if you think the Bills are going to win, they're -2 right now.
Yeah,
they could win by a field goal and win.
Yep. So I'll tell you, that's all. There we go. So we got Panthers spread, you got Bills spread, and Colts money line. Solid. So here we go. We got college football thoughts and anything in fantasy that we want to go over. So just I'll start off with college football because it was a great week. Oregon won 77-6. Yes, it's Nevada, but Troy Dye was having a great time out there to start middle linebacker for the Ducks. Herbert proved that he's the second best quarterback in college football, behind Trevor Lawrence. The best quarterback coming out this year. Justin Herbert, 310 yards, 19 for 26, 5 touchdowns. Yes, they played Nevada. I do not care because Davis Webb-Nix barely won week 1, and I needed to see good Oregon football. And I saw good Oregon football. They came out and did what they needed to do. Awful school. Me and Joe probably could have walked on at Nevada if Joe didn't have concussions. But it was fun to watch.
Yeah, Notre Dame didn't play, so wasn't really too invested in college football. I was at a barbecue during the games, but I did sit down and watch LSU and Texas. That was a shootout. Texas, I think, scored with not too much time left, made it look a lot closer than it was. I think it was a 2-possession ball game until then. But I was in and out at a barbecue. I just really liked what I saw from LSU. That's really all I got to say. Sam Ellinger is not the guy.
Yeah, no, he's not. Matt, our friend Matt, podcaster, Sports Opinions, yeah, he's big on him. He's just not that good.
I'm not.
So, and just my biggest, let's just go fantasy, Joe. One guy who surprised you in fantasy who you think's actually going to maintain his week 1. Also, let's just go over this. Week 1 is week 1. All this, this team's going to be great. I know I did a little bit with the Ravens, but it's week 1. Let's just take it for what it is. It's the first week. There's 16 weeks of regular season. You got playoff football. People are going to get hurt. It is what it is. It is what it is. But with that being said, my fantasy pick is Lamar Jackson. He's the truth. He is going to be just as good as the Mike Vick comparison Lamar that we heard. He's good. He's a very, very good quarterback. Still not going to start him over Patrick Mahomes. But if you have him, if you got – I don't know who else you would have. If you have Brady, start him over Brady. If you have Matt Ryan, definitely start him over him. He's the second best fantasy quarterback behind Patrick Mahomes. I drafted a God squad in fantasy, and I'm not giving him up because when the Chiefs are on their bye week, I'm literally starting Lamar, and that's the only reason I'm keeping him, so someone else can't have him. Joe, your take on fantasy?
My take on fantasy is just because of the injury, I think Sammy Watkins, if you have him, he's going to be a great start. Austin Eckler. I had Austin Eckler and Phillip Lindsay and Mark Ingram, so those are all really good players to have in their system. Phillip Lindsay, maybe not too much after that showing. And there was one more, Keenan Allen. If you have Keenan Allen, you start him every week. There's going to be no question, no ifs, ands, or buts. I'm starting him over Julio Jones. I'm trying to trade Julio Jones because Julio's. I didn't start him because I didn't like the matchup against Xavier Rhodes with the Vikings. So in none of my leagues did I start him, and it was a good thing I did.
Yep. And I think another thing just to take away is, Sammy, I agree with you on that. And just to speak to Deshaun Jackson, so long as he can stay healthy, because old age is going to be, a thing. Age is age. You can't beat Father Time. But he's going to get used a lot, and he's going to be really good for them. So I would keep an eye on Deshaun Jackson throughout, too.
And also, I have one more thing, and I know I'm going to be very biased because I made a very risky trade for this guy. Dante Pettis was in two snaps.
Oh, boy.
Okay?
Oh, boy.
For the 49ers against the Tampa Bay Bucks. It was a coaching dispute, okay? He had some trouble with the coaches. You trade for this man because in those 2 snaps, he had 1 catch. Yeah, it went for 7 yards, but what if he plays 14 snaps, 7 catches, 7 times 7, 49. So you know what? Maybe a touchdown. So guess what? Take this kid, take the risk, even though I gave up Robert Woods for him. No one else was taking Robert Woods for anything else, so I think I got a steal.
Joe, I hate to inform you, you did not get a steal. Your trade potentially ruined our league, and under the current rules in the league, it would have never gone through because now that team that you traded Robert Woods to had 160 points. So hopefully something happens where it's fair again in the league. But if it works out, Joe, I hope it works out. I hope it works out for the league's sake, for the league's sake. Because if not, we just handed Colton's father money. But I understand, Joe. I understand. You got to take risks in this life. You got to risk it to get the biscuit. Got to risk it to get the biscuit.
Yeah, I want the whole croissant.
All right, guys. Well, that's going to do it for the 3rd episode of the Playbook. Again, I'm Rob Planter. I'm with Joe Hackett. Joe, you want to just plug yourself a little bit? A little selfless plug in there.
SoundCloud Joey Says, Instagram Joe Hackett _, I think, and I think my Twitter's Joe Hack _. You can hit me up on any of those. New hack this week.
Yep. So we got a new hack coming out. So that SoundCloud.
Did you hear it? I sent it to you.
I did.
It's like
listened. That's why I sent you the Bart Star picture, because you said.
I didn't even realize because I was asleep when you said. Oh yeah, yeah. That's funny.
All right, but so Sports Opinions 30, that's going to be where you find us on Instagram. Find me on Instagram at REPJR. Find me on Twitter at Rob Planter Jr. And thank you guys. See you next week.
See y'all.